video. This is Dastraction, and like I just said, and I'll be repeating myself probably a lot in this first video because I've never done it before, this is my very first Let's Play. This is Altered Beast, and what I want to do is, in this playthrough session, I'm just going to mostly focus on the game and some game commentary, but I plan on going through all three. I believe it's three. It's been a while since I've seen the option menu for this game. But basically, all the difficulty levels from normal all the way up to hardest. So in this first set, as we go through normal, I'll be talking about the game exclusively. Not to bore anybody, so that way if you came here specifically to look for gameplay footage because you're curious about Altered Beast, you're going to get what you came for. If you're curious about me and my channel, when I go on to some of the other difficulty levels and later videos, I'll be talking a bit more about this channel and what you can expect to find here. So let's go ahead and get started. Of course, we're going through the demo reel right now. What I want to do, though, is wait until you get to see this cutscene. This is just levels. They're showing the co-op mode right now, of course. This is all two-player stuff they show in the demo. But there's a really cool cutscene that very few people get to see because they don't wait for it to pop up. I know the first time I saw it, it kind of blew my mind. I didn't think Altered Beast had anything like that, but it's pretty neat. I wish they had put more stuff like that in this game. Here it is. Alright, so it was just, okay, it wasn't as cool as I remember. I don't know why. It was so awesome. But it's like, it just kind of out of place, right? I mean, it was just eyeballs, but the animation style and the graphics and everything, nothing like the rest of the game. So let's go ahead and get started. This is kind of an odd game, and I think what helps to make it as odd as it is... From your grave. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over that. That's the famous Rise from Your Grave. It was all inspiring, I guess, in 1989 when they had never seen any sound bites like that, voiceovers in a video game, really, with a few exceptions. Power up. But, you know, the joke today is that it sounds like Elmer Fudd. So what helps make this game so weird is the fact that it was the launch title for the Sega Genesis, which seems just completely out of place. It just doesn't feel like a launch game. You know, when people think about Sega Genesis, obviously the first thing that usually comes to their minds is Sonic the Hedgehog, which didn't appear for 2 years, roughly, after the Genesis launched. This was the North American launch title. This is not just the launch title. This is what was this is the package. This is what you've got with your Genesis. So, for early adopters in 1989, this was the first video game they played on their new consoles. Here's the first boss fight. And this is also, I think, the best boss. This guy was awesome. It kind of makes the other bosses look disappointing by comparison. I've actually got a lot to say about this game, but it's moving so fast I can barely keep up. As you can see, transformation is kind of the motif of this game. And I'll explain how that works, how the game itself works. The thing that's so odd about the way this plays is, for one thing, it's not really a beat-em-up and it's not a platformer. It doesn't know what it is. It's a very small little genre of games like this, these oddball half beat-em-ups. Last Battle's the only other one like this, maybe China Warrior. Yeah, so I guess those three are about the only ones I can think of. Kung Fu maybe on the NES. They're just so strange. They just... And the fact that the screen moves... almost like it's a shmup is what totally threw me off when I was, even as a kid, I thought that was odd. I was a late adopter of the Genesis. I wanted one more than I wanted Oxygen, but I didn't get one for a long time. I played a lot of my first Genesis games on my uncle's console. Whenever we'd visit him, he lived way out of state, but this is like one of the first games I saw, and even as much as I wanted a Genesis, I thought this game looked weird as hell. It wasn't until much later in life that I grew to appreciate it at all. See, look at that. Look how quickly we got to that next boss. I didn't even get the chance to explain how the transformations work, although you probably picked up on that by now. And I'm sorry if it feels like I'm talking down to you. I don't really know who watches these. I'm usually a lot better at this too. I'm kind of using a funky controller. I'm not even sure how well I'm going to end up doing. It's kind of stiff. So it's a short game. It's got the scrolling level thing going, which is so weird for this kind of game, because you can't go back, you can't explore, you can't really appreciate. You know, for a game that comes out on a console, and this is like the first game you play, you'd think you'd want something where you can, if you want to, you know, get a good look at the graphics, and it moves so fast for a platformer slash beat 'em up that you don't really get the opportunity to look at what it's got to offer. Not that this is by any stretch of the imagination the best the Genesis has to offer. And that's kind of the other weird thing about it, is that for a pack-in title, it doesn't do a great job of showing off what the Genesis is capable of, in my opinion. I've heard people argue that point and mention the parallax scrolling and the voice sync and stuff like that, but I see better examples of that. I mean, obviously later games people got better at it. It's not a bad game. It's an acquired taste, though. I've come to appreciate it.
Welcome to your doom.
But one of the cool things about me doing this the way that I'm doing it is that honestly I think it's a game that's actually better at the harder difficulties, which is weird. It's a rare thing for a game that usually when you get up to the higher difficulties, for me at least, a lot of these older Genesis games get so frustrating they're just unplayable. So even if I could beat it with practice, I don't have any desire to wait. I don't by any means claim to be the greatest video gamer of all time. I can hold my own, but Altered Beast is one of those rare games where it's actually more fun the more difficult it gets. Another thing that's kind of weird, the way the controls work, I'll try to explain it the best I can. So, when you're a human, A punches, B does this weird little, like, down kick. And C jumps. But the weird thing about your jump, and I think I'll be able to demonstrate it here in just a second. Damn it. Is that you kind of do a little hop unless you press up and C, and then you get that big jump like you just saw. Without doing that, I just kind of hop a little bit. So hop versus this big jump. Now, you probably noticed these weird... I always thought they look like pigs, and they're supposed to be two-headed wolves. You have to really be looking to see that that's what they are. These little two-headed wolves will come out like that. When the blue one comes out, he can give me a power-up. Ah, no, I'm gonna miss him. I missed him. Anyway, you got the little bubbles up that make you power up, and after you get 3 of them, you transform into an animal. But this is kind of good. I can show you this. This is Neff, the villain, and he won't let me fight him unless I'm in my animal form. So now I have to continue to level. Which, if you're playing for points, there's the most vicious death howl of all time. If you're playing for points, it's kind of a strategy you can use to purposely not get the 3rd power-up, skip Neff, and use that to farm a little bit more. And that's really the trick with this game that I think a lot of people who don't appreciate it don't get. It's a points game that's disguising itself as a game about completion. That's usually how I categorize, especially older games. There's really 2 forms. There's games you play because you need to beat them, that's the goal. And there's games that the goal is just to get as many points as possible before dying. This is really the second kind of game. It looks like it's the first kind. It looks like it's a progressive fighting game, and it's not. It does repeat itself, so you can continuously just go through the levels. It gets harder with each mode up to, I think, 3 times. This boss is kind of a pain in the butt. He doesn't look it, but he can kind of surprise you with the timing a little bit. And it's also hard to figure out exactly what his hitbox is. See? Like, I never know. I have trouble figuring out whether or not I'm going to hit him or if he's going to hit me when I do that. But I want him dead as quickly as possible so I don't lose any more lives. That's one thing about this game. They don't screw around with lives. I don't think there is a way to get an extra. Maybe there's something points-based, but I'm not aware of it. Oh, that was close. I don't want a chance anymore. I just want to get hit by a little ball fist and die already. Ah, damn it, see? That's what happens when you take chances, Richard. Don't do that. Oh, my real name's Richard. I just told everybody. That's fun. It's like one of those things. I was going to use my username this whole time. I'm still going to, but now the cat's out of the bag after my first video. As you can tell, I'm very new to this. Oh, shit. Got it.
Power up.
If I can keep a life here, I can beat this last boss. And yeah, this is the last boss. We're already at the end of the game, technically. That's what I mean. It's a very short game, so it's all about the points. It's not... Which, that's not how I'm going to be playing it. I'm probably going to just reset. I'll show you guys how it works when you go back through. But I have no interest in going for points in this one. This is one of those things where I'm gonna try to master a lot of the games I do on this channel. But in this case, I have played Altered Beast so many freaking times. This is almost like a celebratory last look for me at Altered Beast. I'd be fine with never playing this game again after this video series. And not because it's bad, it's just I have totally worn this game out. He looks kind of cool for a final boss, but he just kind of random though, right? You had like this evil wizard sorcerer, and you thought you were gonna finally get to fight him, and instead you've got this giant rhinoceros barbarian warrior. Where did that come from? And dead. And that's Altered Beast. That's the end of the game. That's also the end of my first video here, pretty much. I'll let you guys see the end credits. But we're almost done here. You have the bird, and she turns into Athena, Zeus's daughter, apparently, who's not a goddess and couldn't save herself for some reason. And also, that was Neph, not Hades. I don't know. Game's weird. Good thing I'm going through this multiple times. There's a lot more I could have commented on that I didn't even get the chance to. This thing moves so fast. So here's the credits, and you can actually move your character. Here's a better chance for me to show you the jumps. It's just it's awkward. You have to play it to understand how this little hop versus pressing up and C, it takes forever to get used to it. I can actually make the credits go faster by punching them here. But as you can see, push any key to start the next rounds. Good luck, and I will keep my points. And now it's at a harder difficulty. I don't want to show you too much of this, because that's what's going to be in the next video. But that's my first video. Like I said, I'll be commenting a little bit more on Altered Beast in the next one as well, on the actual gameplay dynamics. Some of the things I like and dislike about it. But I also, if I get the freaking chance as fast as this damn game moves, I like to, anybody who's curious about what I'm going to be doing with this video series and upcoming videos and things, I'm going to be covering a lot of that in the upcoming videos I do. Wow, that was redundant as hell. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off for now. This is Dastraction Wolf. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.